Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Welcome back to the Right Mentality. It is Friday, but y'all know what we do. It comes out on Monday, okay? So we have another special guest on the Right Mentality today. We have Miss Christine James. Now, she is a life coach. She's a coach out here in the world, giving people that knowledge that y'all need, that positivity, that productivity, and she's going to give it to you today, okay? Miss Christine, talk to the people. Tell them who you are.
Hi, so I am Christine James. I am a conference coach and strategist. That's just another way of me saying that I help businesses, other coaches scale their business and grow. And I love pouring into other women, also men too, because I have 4 boys and a husband. So I'm surrounded by young kings. So I do love pouring into everyone, but I know I'm called to help women build their businesses.
Nice. I like that. Okay. 4 kings and the top king.
In
Okay.
a talk king, exactly. There's 5 of them. There's 5 of them.
Okay. So now, Miss James, I don't want to be too formal. Is it okay if I call you Christine?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Now we
I'm
we
like,
I'm sorry. Listen, I get offended when people call me Mr. Right sometimes, but I just gotta keep that in my mind. I'm getting older, but it is what it is. So,
mhm.
good people, we coming today. We talking. We giving some knowledge. So now, today's episode of the Right Mentality is about self-image. Now, we look at ourselves in life. We look at ourselves in the world, and we want to be something. We want to become something, but at the same time, we don't always know. Now, Christine, I take self-image as something not taken lightly because I look at myself as somebody I want to see in the world as somebody productive, positive, motivating other people. And of course, I have a young queen that I'm raising. So, I need her to look at her daddy like, oh, yeah, like you see me, oh, that's my daddy. Like, that's my daddy right there. So now when I want to ask you, like, what image do you feel like we as people put on out here to prove to others who we are?
I think a lot of people carry around a false identity. And usually it's constructed from when you're younger. A lot of people told you couldn't do this, you're not this. That's actually a lot of things why people feel powerless now. Like they don't make good decisions because somebody said they were dumb and stupid because they did make a decision. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone makes mistakes, but it's
Yeah.
the language that's used on that. And we know that word, right, created the world, right? God created the world
Yeah.
through his word. So same thing, we can create our own world, our own image through word. And sometimes we take on other people's perception of us as truth. And there's only one truth, and it's not that.
Very, very true. And I like that because don't get me wrong. When I was younger, like I had, well, I ain't gonna go that far, but I think when I was like 19, 20, I had this job at the hospital. I was what do you call it, housekeeper. I was a housekeeper, EVS worker, whatever. And I'm in there, I'm cleaning, and I'm in school at the same time to become EMT, ride the ambulance, save lives, and all that stuff. And my manager at the time, I told him, I was like, I ain't gonna be here long, man. I'm just temporary. He said, that's okay. That's a nice idea to have. What you mean, brother? He was like, if you ever do it. I said, wow. Like I never thought I would hear somebody tell me that. So when he told me, he was like, yeah, it was, if you ever get there. And then the day, and I told him, I said, it's okay. I said, I appreciate you. I said, because that just motivates me to show you that what I will become. I said, but the next time you see me, I'll be bringing somebody in here on a stretcher. The next time he saw me, I was bringing somebody in there on the stretcher. And the look on his face was, oh, man, you really did it. Absolutely, sir. I set out to say what I was going to do, and I did that. So we put on this image like just to portray something, just because this person told me I couldn't be what I wanted to be. It wasn't a costume. I was really on that ambulance. So that to me is something very powerful to understand. You can do whatever you say you want to do, but don't pretend. Be real, man.
Right. So a lot of times we are naturally, so a lot of us have rebellion in us, right? I
Mm,
do sometimes.
yeah,
But we actually naturally want to submit to things. And a lot of times we submit to the wrong things. And
yeah.
instead of submitting to the obedient of the vision and you speaking the vision no matter what others are saying, that's where
Hmm.
people start getting confusion. They start feeling isolated. They feel powerless in their decisions. And it all erodes their confidence, and they start to doubt, like, am I even here for a reason? So I would
Yeah.
say to that, I had something similar to you. I did work in a dental clinic with the military, and a lot of the
Okay.
older women, they were stuck in their ways, and I was youngest on staff, and I tried to make them feel more comfortable by dimming myself, right? So then I
Hmm.
try to blend in like a chameleon to their ways, so they would be comfortable. But we're
Oh,
not. That's not our responsibility to make other people comfortable. And so I know that as an adult now, that you don't have to do that. You actually supposed to be an invitation. So when your life is getting better, people, because you're gonna be a bright light, you got high energy, you're gonna attract people that's gonna want to change their life, right? And the people that don't want to change their life, I don't think it's possible for you, um, for them themselves, really, because projection, right? They don't think it's possible for you because they really don't think it's possible for themselves. And again, they're carrying this old dead language that's not transformational. It's
yeah.
traditional,
True.
right? So we know about tradition. Tradition is cyclic, right? It's same thing. Who's cooking what for Easter dinner? Who's going doing this? Everything is, it's same people show up,
Yeah.
it's same pace, same day. That's tradition. But
Mm,
to have transformation, there's always some new input. It's transformational because you are designed to be your highest self, which is in the image of God, right? He created
mhm.
us for a reason, but we're supposed to be interacting with each other like that. And if we were, a lot more love, a lot
Yeah.
more peace, a lot more energy will be going around. So I'll say that
Abs-
about self image for that.
That's true though. Like that is so true, and I believe all of that. So like now, do you feel? I mean, we can go right back to it because this relates back to it. So like, do you feel like a lot of people have lost their faith in becoming who they want to be though? Because like there are trying times where you just like, man, I can't do this no more. So like, do you feel like people have lost their faith in it?
So I think, so yes, I do believe that. I think people get in a state of hopelessness
Hmm.
when they're going through things. But this is what I want to say. When you say yes, your elevation starts.
Yeah.
And there's always some type of turbulence that comes with that, right? So that's the acronym. Your elevation starts. Know that when you are intending and setting out to do something, by law, by nature, there's going to be some disruption behind that. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally.
Okay.
The thing is, a lot of us take it personally and think you're doing something wrong. You're
Yeah.
going the wrong path, you're going the wrong way. And then when you hold on to that belief, you're believing all the time. But if you choose
Yeah.
to hold on to the belief instead of looking at it like, "Oh, I'm on the right path. That's why all this is happening." Then you can live a life of, shrinking and settling. You don't want to settle, right? You don't
Oh,
want to
whew,
settle.
please
No
don't.
one, yes, but no one really wants that. No one says, "Hey, when I see myself 3 years from now, I want to settle." No one goes out to say that.
Yeah.
However, through disappointments and, constant discouragement, because you're getting up and you're seeing the same results every day. You haven't seen anything change. However, do not allow the what you see in front of you confuse you with where you're going. Do not make decisions out of what's happening today. That's not going to be happening tomorrow. So a lot of people do that because they don't have any outside. Sometimes, okay, I'll say it like this, and you probably agree with me. A lot of times when you're starting on this journey of life and you're starting to grow, and when you start to step out, you feel like you're doing it by yourself. So there's no one really always pouring
Yes.
life into you.
Yep.
So you have a decision to turn on one of our superpowers, right? One of our superpowers is actually to seek. We don't have to chase anything. We're not designed to chase, because the things you chase don't want to be caught.
Yeah.
Jerry don't want to be caught by Tom. The Roadrunner don't want to be caught by the coyote, right?
Yeah.
So when you chase things and even chase your dreams, I actually don't even like that. When people say, "Oh, chase your dream," don't chase it. You seek it.
Yes.
Seeking is way more powerful, and guess what? Your dream wants to be found. So when you use your superpower to seek out what you
Mhm.
desire, just know that there's going to be some things come in play. Like me and my husband, we have a lot of babies, but we also were pregnant and we had a miscarriage. I was
Mm.
so mad because I was like, I have
Mhm.
all this faith, right? Then I started noticing I was listening out to God, like, God, I've done this and this. And then I was like, wait, how dare I? You know? It took me 2 weeks to come to that. But
Yeah.
I was like, and I didn't journal for 2 weeks. I kind of just went inward. And then I was like, all right, I know the things that I go through. And this is for everybody. The things that we go through is not by what we're focusing on. So was I going to choose to focus on like maybe I did something wrong, maybe I'm being terrible, right? If I'm going to focus on that, that's going to expand. I'm going to see more of that in my life. Or am I going to focus on, okay, God, what are you doing here? What is the beauty in this? Because a lot of times people
Yeah.
don't realize this, that there's two things always happening, right? There's no one-sided anything. Okay, there's no one side to a dollar, there's no one side to your phone, there's no one side. Everything has two sides.
Mm. I like
So
that.
so so when you go into situations and
Mhm.
it's where your focus is, right? Are you going to focus on the front side of your phone or the back side of your phone? You're going to focus on the front side of your phone because that's a lot of action happening on there. That's the
Yeah.
same thing with your life. You need to focus on that with the action where you can take action and click on apps. And I'm just using phone as an example, but
Mhm.
you click on those things to move you forward. But don't look on the other side where things are not going how you think they should. And there's a whole thing I have
Okay.
behind that too about expectations. But yes, but that's all I just want to say about that, just to get some clarity
Okay.
around that. That don't take it personal. If you take it personal, you will remain stuck. And it may not be for a year, it may be for a decade. I know you can think of somebody right now who's sitting in their chair, probably on their porch, talking about, oh, I wouldn't do that because they've been stuck in
Yeah.
the same place,
Yep.
living the same experience every day because that's tradition. That's a traditional mindset. But you're about transformation. Everybody wants transformation. Everybody wants new. That just is natural for us.
Listen. Yeah, listen. She talking that talk, people. She talking that talk. Okay. Like that's some real deal. Now we go. Tone it, Christine, tone it down, okay? Because you on fire over there, all right? Tone it down just a little bit. Now, this is something I've always wanted to know and ask because I see it a lot. Now, you got the red pill and the blue pill. You got two questions, of course. Red pill, we want to go back in time. Let's change some things, figure out what I could do differently. Or you take the blue pill and take the experiences that you have today and continue to go further in life. Which pill you want to take?
Oh, you're asking me? The blue one.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't go back
yeah.
in time and change anything.
You sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
Now it's strange because a lot of people want to rewind that clock and go backwards to change the things. But to me, I feel it is I would take the blue pill because one, everything that I have learned was for a purpose. Everything that I went through was for a reason that made me into the person that I am today. I don't want to go backwards and try to fix the pain and the hurt that I went through because if I did, I wouldn't be who I am today. So why do people want to go backwards and change things? Because I don't think at that moment they're understanding that my reality is going to flip upside down. So why do you feel like people want to take their red pill?
I think people are they get used to being familiar, so that's already happened.
Got you.
So they can go back. They've been replaying the same image over and over, right? Because also part of our gifts, right? Part of our superpower is curiosity and imagination. A lot of people are using curiosity and imagination as something they cannot change. You got to use that
Yeah.
for what you want to change. Like, what do you want to do differently? Don't think. And then a lot of times you also blame other people. Well, if I wasn't in that situation, I wasn't.
Yes.
It's gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, you know what? We make errors. You're gonna go back and do an error too. Have you seen
Thank
enough
you.
sci-fi movies
Thank you. You gonna mess
that
something
say
up.
we're gonna mess up? It tells you, right? It already tells you, like, you
Yeah.
already gonna do something that that you're gonna mess it up for everybody, not just you.
Yeah.
But plus, you don't want to just live happy and then other people's lives got destroyed because
Exactly.
yeah. So
That
I
is
think
true.
so I think the curiosity, imagination, people use that for something they can't change rather than investing that same amount of energy and
Hmm.
thinking of the possibility of what can happen for them. And that's exciting, actually. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I completely agree with that. That is like that's a different way of thinking about it. So just understanding the entire like the imagination part of it. Because like you said, like if I go back like today, if I want to go back 10 years ago, and change just one thing, it's gonna alter everything, it's gonna mess everything up. So people stay where you at. Make some changes today or tomorrow, this weekend, or whatever you got to do, and go from there because you are who you are. You're meant to be who you're meant to be today. But if you want to make them changes, you got to make them within yourself in order to progress further. So don't go backwards, please. Because I love to tell people, I tell my clients, I tell my family members, my friends, we don't go backwards. We don't go backwards over here. Ain't nothing but forward. So, I mean, you can look behind you, but ain't nothing back there that you really want to see. So everything is a straight narrow path. So look forward to where you need to go. Man, listen, I'm getting
Absolutely.
hot over
I
here.
think you know what, and I'll say a couple things too. It's the
Mhm.
clarity. People don't
Yep,
have clarity about where they want to go. So
definitely.
they think all their answers are in the past, and it's not.
Yep.
And I think also, and I heard this a long time ago, but they said that's why your rearview mirror is so small because you need your front mirror in your
Ooh,
car. I mean, excuse me, front window is
yes.
bigger so you
Yep.
can focus on your future,
Hmm.
and the rearview mirror is smaller because you can't be looking like your eyes only go one direction.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if they go a different direction, um, there's a term, for that too.
Hmm.
But you can focus one way, you can turn one way only, but it's you just getting that clarity about which way you want to turn. And just try it.
Yeah.
Don't and don't do this. Don't compare it. Well, what happened last time? Don't do that. That means you already cut off the experience
Yep.
before it happened. I know a lot of people do that, like when they're dating. Oh no, this person. No, well,
Don't don't
I don't
don't
want to get into that either, but
don't
there's
don't
some red
step
flags you
in.
need to
Don't
look out
step
for.
on no toe. Don't step on
But
no
I just
toes.
but I would say when you're experiencing life, don't say, "That's what happened last time." You are smart, right?
Hmm.
We are very smart and wise. Give yourself some credit that you won't get into the same situation or the same thing.
Yeah.
Just, look at it for what it is and just say, "Okay, this is something I want to experience." And then do it. Don't say, "Oh, last time I did that and it didn't." I just say just you're smart. You're learning all the time.
Exactly. That is so true. That is so true. Now, listen, Coach Miss Christine. Don't call her Miss James. Okay. Y'all know how she feel about that. So now, Miss Christine, we appreciate you today. Okay. You gave some knowledge, you dropped some jewels. You came over here talking that talk, the way that you talk, how you talk, the way that you talk. Okay. Now we need to know where we can find you at, where all this information from you can be found. Now, people, I'm gonna put it in the links, of course, but I need her to tell y'all first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation. I love the shirt because I love the brain. It's very dope. So I was like, that's very creative. I like that. So you can find you can find me at Chosen Minded on Instagram. That's actually the best way to get to me through there. So yeah, I would just say that just one call to action. That's it.
Hey, y'all, listen, she there. That's why I found her, or somewhere else. I found her somewhere, but you know how I find people. People, this is what we do. We network. We get out here. We do what we do, and we do what we need to do. Now, I'm gonna post everything I'm gonna put it out there for y'all. But let's thank Miss Christine for coming on here today, talking the way that she talked. So, good people, always remember, keep the right mentality.